What's up, everyone? This is Quest for Tiers, and I'm back again with another tier list, and I'm pretty excited about this one. This is IGN's top 100 SNES games, or Super Nintendo games, if you don't know what that means. But either way, stick around. This one's going to be fun. All right, as I said, this is IGN's top 100 Super Nintendo games, SNES games, and I just want to also let you know this is going to be a long one. So feel free to increase that playback speed if you want to get through it. I'd love for you to watch the whole video, and I guess some of my videos are just going to be longer. That's how it's going to be. Another little fun fact or special thing about this video is that this is the first tier list that I actually made myself. There was another one on Tier Maker, but I wasn't happy with the way they did the picture. So I hunted down all the pictures and I made this tier list myself. So before I get into it, I just wanted to share that Super Nintendo was a prime system for me. It's where I sort of developed my love for video games. I had a lot of video games for the Super Nintendo, and it wasn't my first console. I had a Nintendo was my first one, but Super Nintendo was where I discovered a lot of things like RPGs and stuff like that. I really came into my own. So it's going to be kind of a fun list to go through. I played quite a bit of these games, whether I owned them or rented them, because that was a thing once. You could go rent games. And yeah, but before I get into it, I just wanted to remind everybody I do this at the end, but I'm just trying to grow the channel. So if you like these videos, subscribe. It really helps this channel to grow. So hit that subscribe button right now and make sure to like and comment on the video. Again, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. What are your S tier Super Nintendo games, or at least on this list, or not on this list? There's obviously many more Super Nintendo games than are on this list, but hopefully there's some that you like on here. And without further ado, let's get into this list. All right, now there's 100 games here, so we're gonna just start getting through it. This might be a longer video, but here we go. I might look up some of these to get a jog my memory, but we're gonna start right off with ActRaiser. Now I remember right now. I'm gonna put that in never played, but let's just take a look. ActRaiser, yeah, I may have played it, but I don't remember it, so we'll keep it there at never played. I don't super remember it. I'm looking at some screenshots quick, and it's not looking familiar. So let's just keep going. We got a lot to get through. This is The Adventures of Batman and Robin. This is going to be like a side scroller. I'm almost certain I played this. How am I going to rank these? I guess we get back to that question again. This time I think I'm going to rank based on if I feel like I remember the game. For one, did I enjoy playing it? Do I have a fond memory of it? And as usual, would it be like a game I want to play again if I decided to go and have a Super Nintendo spree, game-playing spree? So Batman Robin, I don't have a huge remembrance of this one, so I'm gonna probably have to put that right off the bat as a D, because I don't have a big memory of it. And I mean, let's just Adventures of Batman and Robin, Super Nintendo. Let's just look at a couple images. Yeah, I mean, I'd certainly have a vague remembrance of this. So I think there's a few of these on this list, but these old superhero games, I mean, they're nothing like superhero games now. But back in the day, I mean, there were some fun ones. As much as you could make a 2D side scroller fun, it was just another, side-scrolling platforming type game, but with superheroes. And this one's, I don't want to knock it and say it's a terrible game, a D. Maybe I'll give it a C. I'll give it a C. And here we go, Aladdin. So this is a classic one as well. It's in the same vein as The Adventures of Batman and Robin. It's all these old games that were made off of franchises. They're pretty much platformers all the time. And games could be infuriating back then on how difficult they were, but Aladdin I do have a fond memory of. I remember playing this game, probably rented it if I'm remembering correctly. I'll give it a B. I do recall, riding on the magic carpet. I think you had to escape. I think I'm remembering the right version of it because I'm wondering, there was a Sega Genesis version and I feel like the two were different. But I'll give it a B. Let's keep moving. Alien 3, I don't think I ever played this. I'm going to just say never played on that. I wasn't as big of an Alien fan back in my youth as I am now, so I'm sure I didn't play it. But anyways, Axelay? No, I don't even know that game. Blackthorn is coming up. What is Blackthorn? Blackthorn, Super Nintendo. This game isn't ringing any bells, so I'm going to say no. I wasn't sure. Sometimes you can't tell by the covers back then. Okay, but here we are. We're moving into some RPGs. Breath of Fire. These games were phenomenal. I loved them. There's a reason they're on the top 100. Breath of Fire is easily one that I would go back to. This is going to be S tier. I had so much fun with both of these. Breath of Fire 1 and Breath of Fire 2. I just really enjoyed those games. Yeah, definitely would go back to play those again. Bust a Move. I never played Bust a Move. Heard of it, just never played it. Not super my thing, but Chrono Trigger. I mean, this is sometimes people's all-time favorite game, and it's going to be an S for me. I mean, sure. Yeah, it is. It's up there. It's one of the best RPGs of all time. It's been a long time since I played it again, and I would happily go back and play it again. I don't have a ton to say about it other than, if you haven't played Chrono Trigger, play Chrono Trigger. If you haven't really played RPGs or anything before, Chrono Trigger is a great one to start with. Contra 3. I'm sure I played Contra 3. I played pretty much most of the Contra games back in the day. I'll give it a C, though. Contra games, they're okay. They're a bit crazy. So anyways, that's what I'll do for that. Now, the Death and Return of Superman. This was a big event back in the day when Superman died. I remember it was in the newspaper, the image of Superman's tattered flag, and it was a big event to have Superman die in the world. So eventually, Superman came back, and this game encapsulates that whole adventure, and I definitely played this game. I'm not going to say it's S tier. It doesn't compete on the likes, but as on a personal level, I'm going to give it an A. I would go back and play that again. It's a side-scrolling thing back then. That's what you had. So it's I don't know how well it holds up, but I would go back and play it. I have a fond memory of it. It's one of my favorite storylines. So yeah, we'll go there. Demon's Crest. Demon's Crest SNES is another side-scrolling type game. It's not ringing bells. I don't think I played it, so we're gonna move it there. Donkey Kong Country. Well, I for sure played the original Donkey Kong Country, and I did have a decent time with it, but it's not my favorite kind of game, I suppose. How do I want to rank that? Part of me leans towards C. I don't have a strong desire to ever go back, but I know it's considered one of the best platformers by a lot of people, and it was decent back in the day, but I don't know if I love it. Honestly, for how I feel about these, I'm going to put all the Donkey Kong countries sadly into that C rank. I don't have a strong desire to want to go and play those ones again. Earthbound. Now, this was another special role-playing game. Classic to many, but I believe my brother really enjoyed this game quite a bit. Did I enjoy it quite a bit? I like most RPGs as a base level. This one is not going to be remembered as fondly as Breath of Fire, Chrono Trigger. So this one's going to be A for me. Definitely, it was enjoyable, but it's not top tier. Now we move on to Earthworm Jim. I didn't play much of Earthworm Jim. Honestly, Earthworm Jim's going to be a D. I don't care about Earthworm Jim that much. So sadly, he's going to be D level. The next game we have is Evo. And I'm not sure. Did I play a game called Evo? Boy, looking at the screenshots, I'm going to have to say no. But there's a part of me that feels like I maybe did play it. but I'll say never played. F-Zero, that's a classic racing game using the Mode 7 graphics to make it look sort of 3D. This is decent. I liked F-Zero back in the day. I remember it was difficult, as most games were back then. I think F-Zero is an A. I would play that again. I enjoyed it. Fatal Fury 2. Fatal Fury 2. These were fighting games, right? Hang on. Let me check. Because I'm thinking about Final Fight, not Fatal Fury. Is Fatal Fury like Final Fight? No, Fatal Fury was a fighting game. Fighting game from probably SNK, I'm guessing, because of the characters like Terry and Mai. So Fatal Fury 2, a fighting game. That's not going to hold as fond of a memory as like Street Fighter. I'll probably put that as a C. I know I played it, but I think we'll go C. I'd rather play Street Fighter. Okay, now we get into Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy, let's just start off here with Final Fantasy 3. This was the first RPG I ever played. There was a kid in school who told me about it, and I think I went and rented it or something, or maybe I bought it or asked for it. I don't know. I don't remember how I acquired it, but it was the first role-playing game that I ever played. And boy, did I start off on a good one, because it's widely considered one of the best role-playing games of all time. Now, Final Fantasy 3 is actually Final Fantasy 6. In America, they just retitled, but in Japan, it's actually Final Fantasy 6. And usually when it's referred to at this point in time, it's referred to as Final Fantasy 6. But that's an S tier for sure. Final Fantasy 3 or 6, however you want to view it. That just had amazing story. It was a great introduction to role-playing games. Then Final Fantasy 2, which is actually Final Fantasy 4. I eventually got around to playing it. I kind of went back, as much as I could at the time, and understanding Final Fantasy 4 is good, but not as good. Not anywhere near as good as Final Fantasy 6. So Final Fantasy 4 or 2 in this case, I'll put it as an A. I would go and play it again. Actually, you know what? I think I'll put it as a B. I've played it several times. I've even played it somewhat recently when they re-released them all on Steam, and I like it. The story's all right, but they really came into their own once they hit Final Fantasy 6. So I'm going to put that as a B. Now here I was talking before, Final Fight. This is the side scroller that's sort of like Streets of Rage or whatever, the beat 'em up, and definitely would play that again. I love those types of games, those Streets of Rage, Final Fight, side scrolling beat 'em ups. Those are fun games, especially if you played with like a friend or something. But yeah, Flashback. Oh, I feel like I remember Flashback. Yeah, Flashback. So I love cyberpunky type stuff. Flashback, as I'm looking at the screenshots, I definitely remember playing this, but I don't have a fond memory of it. I'm not even sure I want to go back and play it looking at the screenshots. I'm going to put that as a D. I don't have a strong desire. It's got a cool box and everything, but Gradius, I don't know. Did I play Gradius 3? Looks like. I don't know if I played Gradius 3. I might have, but I don't. I'm going to say never played, just to be on the safe side, because I don't have a strong opinion either way. Harvest Moon. Now, see, this is a tricky one. I don't think I ever played Harvest Moon. And that makes me a little sad, because at this point in time, I think I would love a Harvest Moon type game. I like the Stardew Valley, Sunhaven. Like, honestly, Sunhaven is better than Stardew Valley. Fight me on it. I mean, if you haven't played Sunhaven, go play it. It is massive compared to, and Stardew Valley is massive on its own right. But Sunhaven, check it out. But Harvest Moon, I really want to rate it, but I haven't played it, so I technically have to put it here. But if I could rate it, I'd probably give it an A at least, because I'd like to play it and try it. But Harvest Moon's got to be like one of the original like Stardew Valleys. I mean, it's got to be that original cozy game. It's got to be. Illusion of Gaia. This is another RPG. I believe. Well, was this more of an action RPG? I can't quite remember. But you know what? I have these weird memories of different games because Illusion of Gaia, I remember pre-purchasing. And back in the day when you used to pre-purchase games, some of them had like these big promotions and stuff. Like you get t-shirts and things with them. This one had a t-shirt. I think you got a strategy guide with it too or something, or at least you could buy one back when strategy guides actually were good. But unfortunately, I don't remember the game that much. I just have a fond memory of everything leading up to the game. The game itself, I feel like was all right, but I'm going to probably, honestly, I would play it more. I'd rather go back and try Illusion of Gaia more than Final Fantasy 2 or 4, however you want to say it. So I'm going to put that as an A because I know it's an RPG. I know it's good. I just don't remember it. So in that regard, like, I'll give it an A. Some people might argue, well, if you don't remember it and you don't remember if it's good, why put it as an A? I have a strong feeling that I would enjoy going back to play it. That's why. So there it goes. Now we got sports games. I did not play many sports games. So this is International Superstar Soccer. And I've never played it. So we're moving on from that. Joe and Mac 2. Joe and Mac 2. Yeah, I know I played Joe and Mac. I have a vague recollection of it, and I don't remember it being very good. I mean, do I put it as an F? It's on the top 100. I mean, these are like widely considered the best games on Super Nintendo. I don't even know if I should have an F tier on here. And I'm going to put it as a D. I don't have a strong desire to go play. I'm not sure I'm going to put anything in F. But we've got Jungle Strike, sequel to Desert Strike. Now, I played both these. These were fun. I remember them. They were fun. You fly around as a helicopter, sort of a top-down view, and you're shooting stuff on the ground and a war game sort of thing. I would go back and play it. I remember these games strongly. So I'm going to put it as a B. I don't think it's like the top tier, but I would definitely like to go back and play that. Ken Griffey Jr.'s Winning Run. Now, I don't know if I played this or not. I might have because I didn't typically play sports games, but if I did, I would play a baseball game once in a while. I don't have a strong remembrance, so I'm going to say never played, but there's a good chance I did play this. Killer Instinct, the classic fighting game, had that sort of rendered 3D look to it, even though it was still 2D. Sorry. I never liked Killer Instinct. I'm going to put that as a D. I don't have a strong desire to go back to it or anything, so D. Kirby Superstar. The funny thing is I've never actually played a Kirby game, like the classic Kirby game. So this is a never played for me. But I do see we're moving on to Kirby's Avalanche, which I did play, and I owned it, and I played the crap out of this. I really liked this game. I'm going to have to put that as an A. It's sort of got that sort of, I guess, Tetris, Dr. Mario type vibe to it. Yeah, it's unlike a Kirby game in every way, which also leads me to Kirby's Dream Course. Now, this was a special game. I had so much fun with this game. Kirby's Dream Course was essentially Kirby put into a golfing game, sort of a mini golf type game with, I don't know, special powers and things. You tried to get a hole in one. This is an S tier. I played this game so much. And again, that's such a weird thing. I've never played a normal Kirby game, but these two Kirby games I have such fond and strong memories for. I would almost put Kirby's Avalanche as an S, but I know that I would rather play Kirby's Dream Course. I played Kirby's Dream Course even more than Kirby's Avalanche. So that's where that's going to go. But see, there's still another Kirby game, Kirby's Dream Land 3. I never played it. I never had a desire to play a regular Kirby game. Yeah, those are good ones. Check those two out, especially Kirby's Dream Course. Now we have Legend of the Mystical Ninja. I loved this game. This game was sort of like a side-scrolling action RPG, I guess maybe would be the category for it. I don't know. I just loved this game. But this is for sure an S. I would definitely go back and play Legend of the Mystical Ninja. I don't even remember all the pieces of the puzzle to that game, but it was phenomenal. I loved it. Check it out. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This is a definitive Zelda game. That is for sure an S. It had the mirror world or whatever it was, the dark world, or oh yeah, that's a great one. That is a great one, and you could easily go back to that one to this day. Lion King, another side-scrolling sort of franchise game. I don't remember this one as much. I know I did play it. I played a lot of these types of games back then. This one I don't remember as much. I'm going to put it as a D. I have no real strong desire to go back to that. The Lost Vikings. This was great. This was at least 2-player game. I almost want to say it was 3, but it was for sure a 2-player. And you had 3 Vikings. I think this was a Blizzard game. I think Blizzard made this game. Anyways, you had 3 Vikings. They each had a different ability, let's just say. And you'd have to, it's basically a puzzle game. It's a 2D side-scrolling puzzle game. You had to figure out, which Viking to use to get through a door or something. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to put that as an A. I would definitely try that again. I mean, it's a puzzle game. Generally that holds up, a puzzle game. I mean, the puzzles don't change. Lufia 2. What was Lufia 2? Man, I don't know. I don't know if I played Lufia 2. It would be surprising if I had not played Lufia 2, being that it was an RPG and I couldn't get enough of RPGs. I'm not sure. I can't remember it. And I'm looking at the screenshots, and of course it just looks like every classic, role-playing game back then. So I don't know if I played it. Do I put it on never played because I don't remember? I think I have to. Yeah, I'm going to put it there because I don't remember, and I feel like I would have stronger memories because I played most RPGs. But Madden 94, never played it. Never played a Madden. I might have played a Madden just real quick or something, but I almost feel like I did that on Nintendo. Anyways, the Magic Quest starring Mickey Mouse. I am sure I played this. I don't remember it. Let me just put it at C for right now. I just want to look at it quick. Magical Quest, SNES. Oh yeah, for sure I played this, but I think C is a good spot for it. I don't have a strong desire to play that again. Mario Paint. Now this came with a mouse and a sort of a mouse plastic pad, and it was an art game. You just made art. You could mess around, use pixels. Basically, it was pixel art, and you could even do these animations and stuff with it. I loved Mario Paint. I spent so much time in Mario Paint messing around, making stuff. Great game. I wonder what it would be like today now that we have all these other art programs and things. Would it hold up in any way? But I would definitely, that's a fond one for me. And now we move into Mega Man X. We have X 1, 2, and 3 on this list. And Mega Man X is for sure an S tier. I played, so back in the day, games were a bit fewer and far between. I was a kid. I didn't have money to just go buy every game and play every game. So when you got a game, you played it, and you played it a lot. And Mega Man X was one of those where I got it and I played it a lot. I played it to the point that I could finish the entire game without getting any power-ups. I could finish the entire game without ever even being hit once. I was master at Mega Man X, master level. I would never do that at this point in time in my life. I would never have the time for that. And those games back then were crazy. But yeah, I could play those whole games, and yeah, basically on insane mode. If it was my own mode I created for myself, just trying to create challenges. I'm just going to put Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3 all at the top because these were some of my favorite games to play. S tier for all of them. Mega Man X was the one I played the most, but they're all kind of the same game in a sense, so I would certainly enjoy all of them. Metal Warriors, that does not ring a bell. Skip that one. Mortal Kombat 2. Now, when this was the big violent game when I grew up, you're ripping people's heads off, fatalities and everything. I wasn't super allowed to play, but of course Mortal Kombat 2 on the Super Nintendo, if I remember correctly, they replaced the blood, made it gray or something instead of red, or tried to say it was sweat maybe, or they might have even changed some of the fatalities. So I can't remember for sure. Either way, Mortal Kombat was never my favorite. I'm going to put it as a C. It was not my favorite fighting game. NBA Jam. Well, I take it back. I did play sports games. I owned NBA Jam. I enjoyed NBA Jam because it was more of a not a traditional sports game. I do like non-traditional sports games, like Kirby's Dream Course, for instance. It's a sports game. It's based off golf. NBA Jam is based off basketball, and it mostly plays like basketball, but you get special moves and stuff, you know, power-ups, I guess you could say. NBA Jam, though, still, would I go back to it? I'd give it a shot, but not after, you know, I'd rather play these other games. I'm going to give it a C. NHL 94, didn't play it. Now, Ogre Battle, or as some people would say, I believe this is like Tactics Ogre. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's one in the same game. I actually never played it. It's surprising to me because this would have been like a game I would have really liked back then. I have to say I never played it, although I do believe I have played it since, but not the Super Nintendo. So I'm gonna say never played, because at the time I didn't. Out of This World, I don't even remember. I don't remember that one, so I'm gonna say never played. Pilot Wings. Pilot Wings was so classic. I have to give it an S rank. Pilot Wings, oftentimes I wouldn't play the game the way it was intended. So basically Pilot Wings had just different aerial things, and the one that we loved playing the most for, I guess, comedy's sake was the parachuting one. You jump out of a plane, you'd try to fly through rings and stuff and get points, and then you had to parachute down to the ground. Well, a lot of times we just let ourselves plummet to death, and we just found that to be hilarious when playing games back then. So that was a classic one. I would love to go back. I played that one quite a bit, and it brought definitely fond memories back. Pocky and Rocky 2. I know I played it. It sounds very familiar to me, but I don't remember it. So I'm going to put it as a C, because I don't think I'm going to have as, you know, I'll look at it quick. Pocky and Rocky 2 on the Super Nintendo. Just looking at some screenshots. Oh, yes, this is... Looking at the screenshots, now I'm remembering that this is more of an RPG. Action RPG. I'm going to bump that up to a B. I don't have a fond memory of it, but just looking at the screenshots, I'm sure I played it, and it looks like a game I would like to play again. So I'll put it as a B. Populous was... What was Populous? Populous for the Super Nintendo is basically some kind of... Oh, I was thinking I played Populous, but I'm looking at the screenshots, and I don't remember this whole book thing, so I don't think I did play Populous. I know of it. I definitely remember it, but I don't think I played it. I know I didn't play R-Type 3, so that's going there. Rock and Roll Racing. I don't think I played Rock and Roll. I don't remember. Hang on. Let's look it up. There's going to be a lot of looking up. You're going to probably definitely want to watch this video in a faster speed, but boy, we're already probably halfway into the video at this point, or maybe more. Rock and Roll Racing. I don't know if I played it. Not sure. It looks... Oh... Yeah, I for sure played this. I remember it. I don't have a strong desire to play that again. I'm gonna put that as a D. That's where that goes. Secret of Mana. Oh boy, this was a great one. Played this one. This is an S tier. That's an action RPG, and the fun thing was you could play it up to 3 players. If you had 3 players, you had to buy the controller extension thing so you could have multiple players beyond 2 play. And that was a fun game. Although to begin with, it's very slow because you can't play multiplayer until you find the other characters in the game. And to even find the second character takes hours, I think, from what I remember. So, yeah. But it was a fun game. Fun game to play with people. It was like playing an RPG with people. I hadn't done that really before. Shadowrun. I'm so glad that this is on this list because I felt like it was a game nobody played. This is a cyberpunk game. I mean, it's based on the role-playing game Shadowrun, the like tabletop role-playing game. And I never got to play the tabletop role-playing game, but I loved this game. This game was so good. I'm just putting an S right now while I talk about it for a second. I love cyberpunk. I love that world. And this game, you basically ran around. You had to solve puzzles and mysteries. You'd ask people questions. You'd have these little combat things. It felt like a role-playing game in a sense. Like if you could visualize a role-playing game, it felt like it. Just great. They made a Sega Genesis version, but they were different. This is, again, back when I was talking, like sometimes they'd have a game on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, but they would be different. And I didn't like the Sega Genesis one as much. I'm not even sure if I ever beat this game. I remember it was really hard towards the end, fighting the final boss and stuff. But oh man, that is a strong memory. I love Shadowrun. Sim City, I played this a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm gonna give that an S. Sim City was classic. I played it a lot. Really enjoyed city building game. I mean, you should know what Sim City is. And this is like the first Sim City, I believe. A Soul Blazer is next up. I'm gonna have to give that a look quick because I don't recall by the name or the box. Soul Blazer, definitely. I don't believe I played Soul Blazer based on looking at some of the screenshots. Oh, what is this? Sparkster? No, I for sure didn't play that. Boy, I don't think I've ever even heard of it. Here we go. Spider-Man Maximum Carnage. Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage. This is another one of those games where it's a superhero franchise game, side scroller. It's all you had at the time. So I have to rank these for at the time. I owned this game. It had a red cartridge, so that was super cool. Special red cartridge. I would definitely go back to this one. It sort of hits that fondness like the Superman one. I remember enjoying it. I bought it. It was one that I owned. I didn't rent it. So yeah, that'll get an A. I would check it out again. Star Fox. Classic Star Fox. It was kind of like one of the later games on the Super Nintendo and had the Super FX chip or whatever, which it looked like a 3D game. Kind of like one of the first looking 3D games. Was it fun? I enjoyed it back in the day, but honestly at this point, I'll give it a B. I don't have a strong desire for it, but I did play it quite a bit back then. Street Fighter Alpha 2. I mean, pretty much Street Fighter games going in S. Pretty much. I mean, I love Street Fighter games. I'm not even really a big fighting game fan. I just love the art. I love, all the different characters and stuff. So Street Fighter Alpha 2, definitely played it. Yeah, it's Street Fighter. And here we go. We got Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Played that a ton as well. Street Fighter Alpha 2 was sort of like the more origin game, like an origin story. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, that's definitely just the classic Street Fighter. Stunt Race FX. I am certain I played this. I want to see what it looks like. Stunt Race FX. Yeah, this was in a way kind of like the Star Fox thing. It was sort of like a 3D game. Stunt Race FX. Yeah, I would not have remembered this game until seeing it just now, but it shared a similarity to Star Fox, but I think it did a better job than Star Fox for being the kind of game I would want to play. I'm going to give it an A because I would like to try to play this game. Looking at the screenshots, I remember it and it looks like it'd be fun. So anyways, I'll put it there. What is this game? Sunset Riders. I know I didn't play this game, so I'm going to have to put it there. Never played. I don't remember it. Super Bomberman and Super Bomberman 2. These are I'm going to have to put these at tier. Both of them. We played the crap out of them. In fact, this one, I don't know how well you can see it. It has the picture. This might have been the game that came with it. I want to say it was called the Multi-Tap. It was basically a 4-player adapter, so you could play up to 4 players on certain games. And Super Bomberman was one of them. And we definitely played 4 players. We had a lot of fun as kids playing Bomberman. Castlevania 4. I never played it. I never got into the Castlevania series, unfortunately. I did for a little bit when they went into the 3D ones that came out later. I played those, but not the side scrollers. Super Double Dragon, which is another Final Fight type game. I would definitely play that again. That's going to be A rank. I just like those classic beat 'em ups. Super Ghouls and Ghosts was an infuriating game. This was probably the Dark Souls of Super Nintendo days from what I remember. It was just a very difficult game. I'll put it as a B. I'd probably rather play it again to give it a shot above these C level games, but it's not going to be the top favorite. Super Mario All-Stars. I mean, this was a great game. It collected Mario 1 through 3 and then even the Lost Levels, which we call it the Lost Levels. In Japan, it was actually Super Mario Brothers 2, but we got a different Super Mario Brothers 2 in America, which later came to find out was just a different game that was released in Japan, and they reskinned it to be a Mario game, and it made sense because it was nothing like any of the other Mario games. But this collected all of them. I remember when this came out, it was like a big deal. It's like you got all the old Nintendo Mario games revamped with modern graphics. It's like HD remaster basically. So that was a great one. Now Super Mario Kart. Super Mario Kart's S tier for me. This is the first Mario Kart, and I've got some stories for Mario Kart. So back in the day, they had a modem for the Super Nintendo called the X Band, and you could play a select few games online with your X Band modem and play against people. It was like one of the first like online multiplayer type things, but like you could only play locally. I mean, it went by like the phone. You had to type your phone lines. It was like back when modems tied up your phone line. And if you wanted to play with somebody across the country, you had to play pay long distance fees. So it was a big deal to play it. Luckily, there was a pretty decent local scene around where I lived, and we created a bit of a community. You get points. There was leaderboards, and I'm happy to say that, you know, a couple times I was ranked nationally on the top 10 best players of Mario Kart. I mean, I was really good. Like, you wouldn't think it's a game that you could be really good at. I was really good at it. Would I still be today? Probably not, but like, you learned so much playing online back then. I couldn't play with anybody else unless I was playing online, because I was master level. Let's just put it that way. I don't like typically brag about anything, and I'm certainly not good like that anymore. I don't have the time for it, but when I was a kid and I played that online so much, loved that. Mario Kart Classic, love it. A Super Mario RPG, I've definitely played it. I'm just trying to decide, do I want to put that as an S or an A? I played it, but I don't, like, I'm curious about it, and I know it was recently like re-released on the Switch or something. I'm going to put it as an A because I don't have as much strong fond memories of it as I do like these other S tier games. It's up there. It's a high A for sure. Yoshi's Island 2. This was like Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. It was the sequel to Super Mario World. You had a little baby Mario, and it was kind of annoying. I think I'm going to put that as an A. I remember like the baby Mario would like float away if you got hit, and you had to get him back, and he'd cry or something. And anyways, it's a good game. By all means, it could be S tier, but I'm going to give Super Mario World original. That's an S tier to me. I played that so much, had so much fun with that. I guess I just didn't super like how the vibe they switched to with Yoshi's Island. But Super Mario World, the original, S tier for sure. Right alongside like Super Mario All-Stars. Boom, boom, boom. You know, you can just play all the games right in a row. Loved it. Classic platformer. Super Metroid. Now, the funny thing is I have never been a huge Metroid fan, but I did play Super Metroid. I don't think I can give it an S rank, though. I think I'll give it an A. It's certainly good. Certainly a good game. It's just not I don't know. It's not the kind of game I would typically play. Let's put it that way. But I did play it. I played it quite a bit, and I did enjoy it. But, okay, here we go. Super Punch-Out. Another sports game. Not a regular punching game. You know, the sport of punching? No, boxing is what I meant to say. But Super Punch-Out, that is definitely S tier. Oh, I had so much fun. It's like learning patterns, basically. You try to learn the patterns of each enemy, and you try to win and get to the end. And it was insanely difficult, but it's a sports game, but it's, you know, it's a different kind of sports. Not traditional, you know. Super Empire Strikes Back. So we've got all these Star Wars games. Why don't I have a memory of them? Did I play them back then? Let's look at, I don't know, one of them, Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi looks like it has like F-Zero type levels and stuff in it. How about Empire? Gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I played these or not. Like, I feel like I'm looking at the screenshots, like I must have. I don't know. I had to have played them. I can't imagine how I wouldn't have played these. I have a vague recollection of it, but I'm I'm going to assume I did play them because it's not like I'm looking at the screenshots. It's not as if I don't remember it, but to be honest, they'll probably go to a C rank because I don't super remember them, but I think I would rather play them above the D rank ones. Super Tennis, I don't even remember that being a game. So I'm going to definitely put that there. Super Turrican 2, definitely didn't play it. Heard of it. Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time. I for sure played Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time, I'll give an A. That was the... I'm just gonna confirm it's what I think it is. Turtles in Time. Yeah, it's the classic beat 'em up. It's going, right in there with the final fight and the Double Dragon. Turtles in Time. It's almost arguably S rank, but I'm gonna put it as A. Tetris and Dr. Mario. 2 games in one. 2 classic great games like this. I'm gonna put it as an A. I enjoyed both these games and I like them, but I know the next one here, Tetris Attack, I played this one a lot. It added like a little extra thing to Tetris, and that's an S one. I played Tetris Attack quite a bit, kind of like the Kirby's Avalanche, but I played this one even more. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an S. The Tiny Toons Buster Bus Loose, I'm gonna give that a C. It's just kind of one of those side scroller games. Yeah, I don't think it deserves much more than that. Or actually, you know what? Hang on. I'm pretty sure I remember what it is, but there was a game. Yeah, this isn't it. There was like a Looney Tunes game or something back then. It was like Animation Studio or something like that, and that was fun because you could create your own like animations. Anyways, Top Gear 2, I don't think I ever played it. Maybe I did briefly. I'm gonna say never played. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, I am sure I played it, and I'm sure I don't care about it. That'll probably go to a D. Mortal Kombat 2 is more iconic. I just wasn't a Mortal Kombat fan. UN Squadron, I don't think I played that. Uniracers. So this is an odd one again. And you might say, what the heck is Uniracers? I never hardly heard anybody that knew about it. But it made IGN's top 100, and it is an S rank for me. I played so much Uniracers. I had so much fun. One of the things, it's going to sound silly, but me and a friend, we both played it a lot. And you try to do these tricks. It was like, wasn't really a racing game per se. You had like a track, and you tried to do these tricks. You were just a unicycle, and you do these flips and tricks, and you try to get as much points as you could while still trying to complete the level on time. So, you'd sit there and try to gain points and try to gauge. It wasn't necessarily about beating the level as quickly as possible. It was about getting the most points within the level. I don't know why. I mean, to this day, I don't know. I probably wouldn't like it as much as I did back then, but again, you had only a certain amount of games, and I played it. I played a ton of it, and you had like I think it was like 16. You could have unicycles to pick from, and you could name them. So you could give all your unicycles names, and we had fun naming them. That was always the thing, and sometimes we named them after girls we liked in school and stuff, and or just some other cool name we thought of. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with Uniracers. That's definitely got stories. Wario's Woods, I don't think I played a Wario game. Wario's Woods, what does that look like? Oh, this is not what I thought. Wario's Woods is sort of more like a Tetris-y type game, and I know I didn't play it because I would have remembered that. X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. This is just another, it's a kind of a, was this side scroll or beat 'em up? I want to say it's going to be an A rank, but let me just look because I can't remember if this was X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. I believe, I thought so. This is a more traditional side scrolling game, but I definitely remember playing it, and I loved the X-Men back then. X-Men were huge. Such a different world we live in where the Avengers are more popular than the X-Men. You young people have no idea how popular the X-Men once were. But I think I'm actually going to put this as a B, though. I think I would rather play these other ones in front of it. We're almost at the end here. We got Yoshi's Cookie. They had a lot of these games. I'm pretty sure this was like a Tetris-y type game, too. Yoshi's Cookie was, yes. sort of a Tetris-y type game. I definitely played it. I probably owned this game, but I'm going to give it a C. I don't remember it fondly. I don't have a strong memory of it, so I'll give it a C. And Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Final one. I'm not going to say S tier, but we played a lot of Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I would play it again for sure. And that's it. This might be one of my longest videos so far, but I don't think I'm going to change anything on this list. I'm looking over it right now, and I'm pretty happy with where everything is. I didn't put anything in the F tier because none of these games are inherently terrible. But yeah, these are IGN's top 100 Super Nintendo games, SNES games, and let me know. Well, let me know what you thought of this list. Sorry it was so long, but yeah. So this was a fun one to walk down memory lane. And let me know in the comments which ones of these. What was some of your S tier games? You know, were there any on this list that you have a strong memory of, or was one of your favorite games that wasn't on this list? If I'm sitting here thinking about it off the top of my head, I can't remember anything immediately because this would really hit a lot of the top ones for me. A lot of special games released back in the Super Nintendo days, things that just don't really get released anymore in this day and age. Like Uniracers, for instance, or something, or like Shadowrun. Nothing ever has come out since that's like Shadowrun, surprisingly. But anyways, that was my top 100 IGN Super Nintendo games list, tier list. And like I said, comment, subscribe. It really helps. And until next time, I'll see you on the next Quest for Tears.